Absolutely game-changing things have just been announced in the latest producer letter for Throne and Liberty. The endgame as we know it is changing, and a lot of issues and frustrations with the endgame are getting completely revamped, changed and adjusted in the future updates. Although they have not shared many specific details, here is the TLDR version of everything they mentioned. Full letter you can find in the link in the description. First, resistance events. Devs are very unhappy with forcing players to participate in these events, and all resistance events will stop being active and will be completely reworked. In the February 7 update, some skills and upgrade books will be given for free to compensate for removal of resistance events. All the growth related items will be swapped for cosmetics, skins and titles in resistance events, and those same growth items will be placed in seasonal events such as Christmas we had, so that everyone can participate and get those items very easily. Personally, I do agree with all the problems resistance events had. It wasn't difficult to unlock the 10th skill, but the pressure of having to do it in the time period is what turned a lot of players away. Nobody likes being forced to do something in order to get stronger and better in the game, especially if it's related to the current very annoying dynamic event system with rankings and leaderboards. This is a good change, a good compensation for removing it, and hopefully they come up with something better in the future. Second are local events. The devs feel that the competitive stress in those dynamic events is a big issue, and they want to completely remove the competitive aspect of these dynamic events. The problem lies in PvE event rankings, since it creates the same competition friction as PvP events. With that, PvP events will be changed to cooperative events, and they will give same rewards to everyone participating, regardless of contribution and ranking. To compensate for players having to still participate in the ranking style events, and until changes are implemented, marine supply in open world dungeons will be increased. In my opinion, another great change for PvE events, as personally I have stopped doing these events 3 weeks ago. Simply as certain weapons and builds cannot obtain enough contribution to get meaningful rewards, and you more often than not end up wasting 25 minutes that you could have spent doing anything else. Everyone getting the same rewards regardless of contribution is a great change, especially since the game favors specific builds for these events. Third, PvE content. Devs came to the conclusion that the best way to move forward with PvE content are co-op dungeons. With that, 5 new dungeons will be added in March. 3 will be in the hard mode and 2 will be completely new ones with new and unique mechanics, not just reskins like the current ones. These new and current dungeons will be set up in a way that you will want to do them regardless of your weapon and build, which means that you will be able to get drops for any build and not have specific weapons and gear pieces drop in those specific dungeons. They also said that they dislike the massive chat spam in World Chat section where everyone is LFGing for dungeons, and they are actively working on implementing first server matchmaking and then cross-server matchmaking for these dungeons. And one of the biggest changes that I have recently been complaining about is that all world bosses and arch bosses will be instanced. So this means no more lag, no more disconnect, you actually have to do the mechanics and keep your DPS in check, making them harder and not a Zerg lag fest like it has been since the release. They have also accidentally increased the drop rates of all items in the open world from mob farming. That change was supposed to be in the future patches, but they pushed it live soon and everyone loves it. These are some very much needed changes in my opinion, and it is 100% a move in the right direction, keeping all the PvP aspects as they are, while putting more and more focus into dungeons and hopefully raids in the future to satisfy both types of players. Let me know what you think about these game-changing improvements. I have been honestly impressed with their transparency and will to improve the game and make it better based on players' feedback. By the time Throne and Liberty releases globally, it will be in an almost perfect state. Thank you for watching, consider subscribing to stay up to date with Throne and Liberty content, and watch some of my other videos appearing on your screen.